Been so long, all day. We got the notification.
All right, Shalom, Shalom. We the brothers of Great Millstone, the church here in Birmingham, Alabama. And as always, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakapadash. Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, that would be the correct name of the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also, would like to give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the brothers out there laboring in this work. And as always, you believers, the Akim, as well as the Aqua, which consists of you brothers and sisters that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, this lesson right here is going to be simply entitled From Tragedy to Triumph. All right, and that's the story of Israel, and in particular the elect. All right, because throughout everything that we would suffer, and according to the biblical prophecy found in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, as well as other prophecies, right? Throughout all of those things we had to endure, then at the end of the day, we're gonna triumph, man. And that's the good news right there. Because what happened to Israel, matter of fact, give me Daniel 9, Daniel the 9th chapter. All right, because everything that happened to Israel was something that can't be rivaled with any other nation, man. You got these devils. They try to package the Holocaust as being, the fulfillment of the plagues that would befall the children of Israel. But that pales in comparison to what happened to Jerusalem. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, this Daniel 9 and 12. Mm-hmm. And he had confirmed his words.
Right, the Lord confirmed his words. What words? The words spoken of, in particular, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, man, concerning the children of Israel and how we will fall from grace. Ultimately, we will fall and we will be taken by our enemies, man. Right? The Lord confirmed that when it came to pass. Go ahead, read it again.
It says, and he have confirmed his words, which he spake against us.
Yep, which he spake against us, man. All right, the decree that came up against us. Matter of fact, give me that real quick. You know what I want. You got something?
Yeah, real quick. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee.
Right, these curses, they fell upon us. Right, go ahead.
And shall pursue thee and overtake thee.
Yeah, pursue you and overtake you. When something pursue you, you can just imagine somebody chasing you down, and jump on your back and corral you and tie you down to that's what the curses did to us, man. Our people, they thought they got it like Bill Cosby. Bill thought he got away, Or I saw an article on Bill. He had a damn mask on and shit, See, but the curses, they pursued us, man. There's no way to escape what the Lord decreed concerning Israel. Those words actually rose up against us. See, go ahead.
God, it says, and overtake thee till thou beest destroyed.
Yeah, till you be destroyed, right? And that word destroy goes into destruction, which means to take away your structure, So as a nation, we never had any structure, man. Right? Go ahead.
It says, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power,
Mm-hmm.
to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
Yep. Go ahead.
Look more. It says, in they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
Right. So these curses are upon the nation of Israel for a sign and a wonder. You know, that's the sign of who the children of Israel is, man. And the fact that we have to endure what we have to endure. See, that in itself is a sign of who we are. Go ahead.
It says, and upon thy seed forevermore.
Yep. Go ahead.
It's First Ezra chapter 1, verse 24. As for the things that came to pass in his time,
Mm-hmm.
they were written in former times.
Right, so the things that befell us, right, it was written in former times. The Lord had scribed it concerning our fate. You know, go ahead.
It says they were written in former times
Mhm.
concerning those that sin.
Yep, those that sin. That's dealing with the Israelites, man. Right? Which sin is the transgression of the law. And who was given the law? The children of Israel. Go ahead.
And did wickedly against the Lord above all people and kingdoms,
Mm-hmm.
and how they grieved him exceedingly, so that the words of the Lord rose up against Israel.
See? So that the words of the Lord rose up against Israel, man. So the things written concerning Israel and the punishment, you know, for trespassing against the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh by Shema Shah, they actually rose up against us. Those very words. So you can go back.
God, Daniel 9 and 12. It said, and he have confirmed his words.
So the Lord confirmed his words, man. All right. For example, when you read Deuteronomy 28, chapter around the 6th, 8th verse, where the Lord said we would come over here as cargo. We were going to captivity in those ships, man. Well, the Lord confirmed that when it happened. See, go ahead.
Which he spake against us.
Yeah, which he spake against us. We just read right there in First Ezra, where the scriptures say the words of the Lord rose up against us. See, go ahead.
Which he spake against us
Mhm.
and against our judges that judge us,
Mm-hmm.
and bringing up, so like by bringing upon us a great evil.
Yeah, the Lord brought upon us a great evil. Go ahead.
For under the whole heaven,
Under the whole heaven. What's under the whole heaven? The planet Earth. Go ahead.
for under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
See, so you can't compare what these other nations have went through, man, with what happened to Jerusalem. Read that last part again.
It says, for under the whole heaven have not been done
Mm-hmm.
as have been done upon Jerusalem.
Which have been done upon Jerusalem, which was a tragedy. Matter of fact, look up that word, tragedy. You got something?
No, look for something.
So the scriptures say nothing has been done under the whole heaven that have been done to Jerusalem, man. All right?
All right, let's see.
So you know what? The Lord, he's the one that abased us. He brought us low. But now we're in a time where the Lord is raising us up once again.
God.
All right? You got it up?
Yeah, so this is their word tragedy. There's a Google definition.
Mm-hmm.
An event causing great suffering.
Yeah, an event causing great suffering, man. Right? And we just read again what the scriptures say. That matter of fact, read it one more time, Daniel. The end.
All right, it says, for under the whole heaven
Mm-hmm.
have not been done as have been done upon
See,
Jerusalem.
so that event that caused that great suffering amongst the children of Israel, man. Right? Go ahead.
This is the word tragedy. It said an event causing great suffering,
Mm-hmm.
destruction.
Woo! Destruction, and we was destroyed as a people, man.
Mhm.
And a lot of people hear that word destruction, and they automatically perceive it to be concerned that you just destroyed and wiped off the face of the earth. The destruction, again, when you go into it, means to take away structure. All right? But now, pursuant to the prophecies, the Lord said, what? He's going to raise up those ruins. See? Right now, the house of David is under construction, which, by the way, the word construction, that's a compound word as well. But construction versus destruction, again, destruction means to take away structure, while construction means to bring structure. Right? The word con means with, and instruction goes back to structure, man. So construction means with structure. Right? Go ahead.
It says an event causing great suffering, destruction, and distress.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. and as a nation, we was distressed, man. Okay? Go ahead.
Such as a serious accident, crime, or natural catastrophe.
Yeah, and this was a catastrophe, man. what happened to the children of Israel. All right, go ahead. You got some more?
It's similar words: disaster, calamity,
Ooh, calamity.
devastation.
Mm.
Let's see, vicissitude. The word vicissitude. It says a change of circumstances or fortune,
Mm.
typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant.
Whoa. Yeah, and that's what happened to us, man.
Mm-hmm.
The circumstances changed dramatically and drastically with the children of Israel. Right? And the Lord sent forth, pursuant to Deuteronomy 28, I think that's in 49 or 50. The Lord sent forth the so-called white men to accommodate that tragedy. All right? It wasn't like we was just sitting there suffering. No, you had the Edomites, the so-called white man, which was that cancer, which was actually that the source, that curse, the curse that brought forth the curses amongst the children of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
See that? You got something?
Yeah, kind. This is the book of Baruch, 4 and verse 6. It says, "You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction."
Right. So the Lord sold us to the nation. The Lord scattered us, but it wasn't for our destruction. Go ahead.
But because he moved the most out of route, you were delivered unto the enemies.
Right. You were delivered into the enemies. So we moved the Lord to the wrath. You know what it's like? It's like a husband battered his wife. Matter of fact, give me that in Isaiah the 60th chapter.
I know.
Isaiah 60.
Yeah.
Isaiah 60. I believe around the 10th verse. All right, that's what happened, man, with the children of Israel. You know, that was a dysfunctional, if you will, relationship. But the dysfunction came from our end, not the Most High. All right. So by us going off, we had to pay. And that wound, man, that was a heavy wound that the Lord laid upon us, man. Right? Go ahead,
Isaiah 60 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls,
Mm-hmm.
and their kings shall minister unto thee.
Right, and that's dealing with when the smoke clear and the dust settle, man. This is dealing with the results right here. After all is said and done, the Lord is still going to choose Israel. That's pursuing Isaiah the 14th chapter, man. So everything that we went through, everything we had to suffer, the Lord is going to ultimately raise us up, even still.
Mm-hmm.
And the other nations is going to carry out what they was created to do. And that was to serve the children of Israel. Read that again.
It said, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls,
Mm-hmm.
and their kings shall minister unto thee.
And their kings shall minister unto us, man. That word minister means serve. Now the scriptures say that kings shall minister unto us when you consider these kings of the world. All right, Kim Jong-un.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to minister unto you, man. You know, Trump. He's going to minister unto you. That guy, Trudeau, in Canada, man.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, he got caught up in a damn blackface scandal. All these Edomites hate you, man. All right? But all these so-called world leaders, they're going to actually be our servants. See, that what the scripture saying.
Mm-hmm.
Read that again.
It said, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls,
Mm-hmm.
and their kings shall minister unto thee.
Yep, the very ones that are ruling now, they're going to be our servants. See, go ahead.
For in my wrath I smote thee.
Yeah, in the Lord's wrath, he smote us, right? Again, you picture a husband battering his wife, he backhand her in his wrath, right? Then she will draw to a corner. That's what happened to Israel. See, read this again.
It says, for in my wrath I smote thee,
Go ahead.
but in my favor have I had mercy
In
on
my
thee.
favor have I had mercy upon thee, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you smoke your wife and she's sitting there, and then you have compassion on her.
Mm-hmm.
Compassion, man. That's what the Lord did with the children of Israel. So this story, right? This story is going to turn, the table is going to turn in the story. For an example, when you consider Job, which Lord will, we're going to go into that, man. All right? The story of Job, that was a foreshadowing of the elect and how the Lord pretty much goes about his business, man. You have to be a base first. Matter of fact, give me 1 Peter. Unless you got something. Get that? 1 Peter, I think it's 5. You got something?
Quick precept.
Mm-hmm.
Hosea 6 verse 1. It says, "Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn and he will heal us."
Yeah, the Lord torn, but he will heal us. And you can get that in Job too, right? Lord torn us and he will heal us. What do it mean when the Lord torn us? The Lord separated. You know, you can tear some apart.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord broke that agreement, you know, that he had with us, man, which binded us to him. The Lord cut us off, man. Hey, it's like this, man. Let's say like if you leave your flock in the wilderness, just to fend for themselves. It's going to be a feeding frenzy on that flock, man. Because all the beasts of the field, they're going to come and attack that flock. Well, that's what happened to Israel. All these other nations at one point in time or another throughout history, when you do the research, they either had us in captivity or just dealt treacherously with us all together, man. And not to mention the so-called white man is well documented his hatred and disdain that he had for the children of Israel. All right? But read that again. It was the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah who set this scenario. Read that again.
This is the book of Hosea 6 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Come, let us return unto the Lord,
Yep.
for he hath torn,
Right, because the Lord torn us, the Lord broke us off, cut us off, go ahead.
and he will heal us."
And he will heal us, meaning he will bind us back together, man. Okay, matter of fact, you give me that in Job?
Yeah, come.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Job 5 and verse 18. It says, "For he maketh sore."
See, the Lord make him sore, right? Meaning the Lord is the one that smote us, man. Go ahead.
"And bindeth up."
And bindeth up, man, meaning he healeth. Go ahead.
"He woundeth."
He wounded, so the Lord wounded us by using Esau. I mean, you can endure being smitten, right, in a fight. Because why? You have two people fighting, they're trying to protect one another. But the wound of an enemy, a person that actually hates you, who can recover from such a wound? Matter of fact, you'll give me that real quick, God? Read this again.
This is on Job 5 and verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "For he maketh sore
Uh-huh.
and bindeth up.
Yep.
He woundeth, and his hands maketh whole."
So the Lord wound us again. Sword, Esau, man. Okay? The Lord took that proverbial swing at the children of Israel, but he used Esau. It was Esau that afflicted the wound. Matter of fact, go ahead up.
Okay, this is Sirach 25. I started verse 13. It said, "Give me any plague, but the plague of the heart."
Yeah, give me any plague but the plague of the heart. Meaning what? Not being quick, being able to grasp this information. For those amongst you out there who can't get this understanding, you would be considered one who's plagued in the heart or the mind. See, go ahead.
It said, "Give me any plague, but the plague of the heart,
Mm-hmm.
and any wickedness, but the wickedness of a woman."
And any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman is levels to that. Concerning even America, or even that goes into unfaithfulness. That word feminine, that actually goes to without faith. See, go ahead.
"And any affliction,
And any affliction, go ahead.
but the affliction from them that hate me."
Read that again.
It said, "And any
And
affliction,
give me any affliction, go ahead.
but
But
the affliction from them that hate me."
which is the sword, man. You'd rather be afflicted with anything else than Esau. That's the one that hates you, man. Again, you can get into a fight, you can have a resistance, but those two parties, right? They fight to protect protect themselves. Esau afflicted us. It wasn't out of necessity of survival. It was because of his sheer hate for us, man. So, matter of fact, read that one more time. That's what the scripture's saying.
It said, "And any affliction, but the affliction from them that hate me, and any revenge, but the revenge of enemies."
Right, and that's the time we're in now. We're in the days of vengeance. As our Lord said, man, Yahweh Shah. All right? Because when you go into the history, we had these devils in subjection at one time. And that goes into when you read Genesis, the 25th chapter, the children struggled in the womb. When you go into that word struggle, it means to oppress one another, man. So that was the time when we had them devils, and they got the momentum. If you see the fight, this person get the best of it, this person get the best of you, right? But now we're in the time where this devil got us, man.
Yep, I got something.
Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 47 and 6. "I was wroth with my people.
Mm-hmm.
I have polluted mine inheritance."
Right, so the Lord is taking responsibility for the situation we're in. Why? Because he was wroth with us. The Lord in his wrath, he smote us. See, go ahead.
It says, "And given them into thine hand,
Yeah, so the Lord has given us into the hands of our enemies. Go ahead.
thou didst show them no mercy."
Right, and the so-called white man showed us no mercy, man. Case in point, Google, and you can Google it as such, the spectacular lynching of Claude Neal, man, where they beat Claude Neal, drug him through the city, They drug him out into the town square where you had hundreds of Edomites cheering it on. Then what they did, they cut off his genitals, stuffed it in his mouth, man, while he was right there in front of everybody. They cut off his fingers and his hands, and they eventually hung him. Then they burnt him, man. That's no mercy. See, read that again.
It says, it's like it said, thou didst show them no mercy.
But the so-called white man showed us no mercy, man. See, that's why the scriptures say, shall he receive mercy who showed no mercy? Go ahead.
Real quick precept.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Zechariah 1:15. I am very so displeased with the heathen.
Mm-hmm.
They are at ease.
But the Lord says he's displeased with you heathens, man. You other nations that's at ease. Right? Hey, here it is to show you the hypocrisy of the so-called white man, Esau, right? They'll tell you, they'll package to you that you got to get an education. You can be whatever you want, get an education. Well, you have motherfuckers with educations and they're the manager at damn T-Mobile, man. You know? Meanwhile, you got the other nations come over here and they can't even speak second grade English, man. Yet they'll get them a grant, right, to open up stores and pitch tents in your neighborhood. See, that shows you the hypocrisy of these devils. But that's why the Lord said, I am sore displeased with the heathen, man, that's at ease. And the reason why these other nations is feeling some type of ease, you know, they had a luxury of kicking their feet up, is at the expense of Israel. And that's outlined in Lazarus and the Rich Man. Matter of fact, you can get that. That's outlined in Lazarus and the Rich Man. But the other nations benefited from our fall, man. Okay? Yep.
Yeah, this you want to get to the point.
You
right?
go straight to the point, huh?
Yeah, this St. Luke 16 in verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
It said, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
Yeah, that's dealing with Israel as a whole, pretty much. We desire the crumb. That's why you hear, and I'm saying we just, in its totality, Israel. That's why you hear Jake in one of their raps. They might say, I'm just trying to get a meal. All I need is a million, a couple of meals. Man, that's the crumbs, man. That's the crumbs that fall from the table. Right? Go ahead.
It said, moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores.
And the dogs would be the other nations. And what does it mean by the dogs licking our sores? Well, one of the sores is slavery. One of the sores is living in these ghettos and barrios and on these reservations, man. All right? That's the sores. So when the scripture said the dogs licked our sores, that means they benefited from our wounds. They benefited from our fault. See that? All right, so they're doing it, right? Go ahead.
Zechariah 1:15. I am very so displeased with the heathen. They are at ease.
Go ahead.
For I was but a little displeased, and they helped for the affliction.
Right, so the Lord was a little displeased with his people, but you helped for the affliction, man. Meaning you overdid it, right? The Lord gave us over into your hand, and look what you did with his people, with his possession. So, yep, go ahead, Up.
Go back to Isaiah. Isaiah 47, it says again, it says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient has thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Yeah,
you very heavily laid your yoke, meaning your oppression, the oppression, you know, against the children of Israel. You heavily laid that upon us, man. And you didn't lift up one finger to relieve us, to ease us. In fact, when you came up with this ploy, right, to bring us into captivity, you was doing it in such a fashion where we would never recover from this. All right? Matter of fact, let's go into that, man. Right? Because what Yahweh Shai did in raising us up was nothing short of a miracle. You know, you have Jakes out there that's looking for a sign and a wonder. You want to see a sign from the Most High. Well, guess what one of the signs are? The fact that we have been raised up from that obscurity, man. This devil had an airtight formula set up, man, in effort to keep us down. All right, and we're going to go into a little of that. All right, go ahead, Up.
So this is the Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah, from time to time we touch on this, right? because it kind of gives you a glimpse into that diabolical mindset of the so-called white man, especially in relation to conquering us,
See,
the children of Israel. Go ahead.
this is the Willie Lynch letter. The making of a slave.
The what?
The making of a slave.
The making of a slave, man. So that's what these devils did. They put a lot of time, energy, resources, money. It was real hands-on into making you what you are today.
Mm-hmm.
A nigga is a creation of the so-called white man. See? Well,
Yep, this is let's see, I just started at the top. It says,
okay.
This speech was delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of the James River in a colony in Virginia.
Yep.
Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited.
Yeah, and he could be one of the bankers back.
Mm-hmm.
He was a British slave owner in the West Indies. See, go ahead.
It says he was invited to the colony of Virginia to teach his methods to slave owners there. The term lynching is derived from his last name.
Mm-hmm.
It says
so we had somewhat of a seminar on how
mm-hmm.
to gain more control over your slaves. Go ahead.
This is what he wrote. It said, "Gentlemen, I greet you here on the bank of James River in the year 1712. First, I shall thank you to let's see, Salakia. Okay, here you go. It says, I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods of control slaves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for control of slaves, ancient Rome.
So, what are you using that word for? Ancient Rome, man.
Ancient Rome would envy us.
Well, that show you right there. Them the same devils from ancient Rome. Man. See, go ahead.
It said ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. It said as our boat sailed south on James River, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging on the tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away.
Yeah, and that prove right there. He have more sort of a banking mentality.
Yeah, Amalekite, man.
Yeah, that's a fucking Amalekite, man. His thing like just we got to get money out of these slaves, you know. Go ahead.
It said your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit.
Mm-hmm. See?
Fuck, man.
See this motherfucker? Let's show you that's one of the bankers back. See, go ahead.
He said, you suffer occasional fires, your animals are killed.
Mm-hmm.
It said, gentlemen, you know what your problems are? I do not need to elaborate. I'm not here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly,
pay attention now, go ahead.
It will control the slaves for at least 300 years.
See that? It will control the slave for at least 300 years, man. He said at least 300 years.
Uh-huh.
So these devils never ever intended. Yeah. It was never in their mindset to free you or becoming equal with you, man. They wanted to always have you as a slave. That's it. No least than 300 years, man. Well, guess what? We're going to have you fucking devils as slaves for 1,000 years. That's right. A long 1,000 years. We're going to beat the shit out you. Then we're going to burn your ass up, exterminate you. Uh-huh. Like a boo, man, said. All right? Abu, you going to get your wish, man, the king. So we got to get serious there. We're going to get him.
He said, my method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. Mm-hmm. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves and make the differences bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control. It said these methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, but
yeah, that's pretty much.
Oh, okay. You want to jump down?
You got more on that time? That was that kind of wonder with that 300.
You know. Yeah,
so that's the mentality of these devils in relation to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. They want to always have you in subjection. They want to always have you as a slave. All right. So pretty much it took divine intervention for the Lord to break that chain, man. Okay. And that was a tragedy. And if the brother would have continued to read in that, they go into how they pitted us against one another. You know, the lighter skinned slaves versus the darker, the older versus the younger, and also the men versus the women, man. So that's a ploy that these devils continue to use to this very day. All right, you guys on
precept? It's the book of Psalm 64 and verse 6. It says they search out iniquities.
Right, they search out iniquities, man. Meaning these devils, they heavily scrutinize you. They examine you, they assess you, and they find out, you know what? This makes this nigga's cholesterol shoot through the roof. So you know what? Let's give him pork. All right, you know what? This is gonna cause his high blood pressure to go up and his damn feet to be cut off. So let's give him you know, these different foods, man. See, because they studied everything. Go ahead, Al.
It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
Yep, they accomplish a diligent search. Right? Go ahead.
It says both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Yeah, the heart is deep, man. You know, you think that was just some random, for an example, the 3-strike law. Think that was just something that came up. No, that was an elaborate scheme, man. They got together. They had these secret means. You know, they presented and packaged it to whomever. It was a presentation. They signed off on it. Now all of a sudden, the penitentiary is packed with the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That was a form of them accomplishing a diligent search, man. All right, or they set up these different programs such as Section 8. Now I know down in these parts, I don't know where everybody else, but if you have Section 8, if you're a woman with Section 8 and you have a house, a man, you can't have your man in there with you, man. So that's all a plus from Esau. See, that's a form of this man accomplishing a diligent search. All right, you got something?
Yeah, this is Psalm 59 and 2. It said, deliver me from the workers of iniquity.
And that's what ultimately is going to happen, man. The Lord is going to deliver us from the workers of iniquity. And that's going to contribute to this transition from tragedy to triumph. You know what's going to happen in part of that? Deliverance. Matter of fact, a whole Psalms 105, when you read, go ahead and read this. We're going to go to Psalms 105. Give me Romans 15 and 4. Go ahead,
this Psalm 59 and 2. It said, deliver me from the workers of iniquity.
Again, that's going to contribute to that transition. We're going to have to be delivered from under the clutches of this man, under the foot of this fucking devil, man. Right? Go ahead.
And save me from bloody men.
And save me from bloody men. And who is that bloody man? That would be none other than Esau, the so-called white man. And if you don't believe us, just take a glimpse into his history, man. It's riddled with bloodshed. All right, this man in his pursuit to power, he left nothing but bloodshed and carnage in the wake. This man never walked out of one of those meetings, you know, with his hands clean from sitting down diplomatically working nothing out, man. All right, this man sent his goons over here to take down the natives. And even to this very day, you have certain covenants this man have set up, like agreements, contracts. This nigga will break them, man, and send. And next thing you know, you look up, you see the Air Force dropping some damn bombs, man. See, that's the devil, man. See, go ahead.
It says, for lo, they lie and wait for my soul.
Right, they lie and wait for our life. That's what the so-called white man have always done, man. That's his introduction into this story. Lying and wait for the blood of Israel. That goes all the way back to Cain and Abel, man. See, go ahead.
It says, for lo, they lie and wait for my soul. The mighty are gathered against me.
Yeah, the mighty are gathered against us, meaning they have power in their hand. We have no power in our hand to ward off this damn devil, man. We have been reduced to hope. Right? Go ahead.
Not for my transgression.
Yeah, this man, he's not on us for our transgression. This devil ain't saying, you know what, you eating pork, so we're going to throw you in a concentration camp. Go ahead.
It said, not for my transgressions, nor for my sin, O Lord. They run and prepare themselves without my fault.
Right, they run and prepare themselves. Right now, this devil is preparing to wage war against the children of Israel. Right? Go ahead.
Awake to help me, and behold.
Yep, awake to help me, and behold. And eventually, that's what's going to happen. All right? So now give me Psalm 105, and I think you start at
Which one?
The 16th verse.
Okay, kind. This is
Matter of fact, you can start at the 14th verse, probably.
Okay, kind. This is Psalm 105, 14. He suffered no man to do them wrong. Yeah, he reproved kings for their sakes.
Right, and that's dealing with the children of Israel, but who? The prophets. Right, go ahead.
Saying, touch not mine anointed.
See, touch not mine anointed, go ahead.
And do my prophets no harm.
And do my prophets no harm, go ahead.
Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He break the whole staff of bread.
He break the whole staff of bread, go ahead.
He sent a man before them, even Joseph.
Even Joseph. Now, we about to read this story of Joseph, but you're going to see where it actually ties into the elect, man. Okay? Go ahead.
Even Joseph, who was sold for a servant.
Yeah, who was sold for a servant. And that happened to us. Because when you read the curses, it wasn't just the 2/3 that went into captivity. The scriptures tell you how you and your king were going to captivity, man. The prophets came over here as captives. You know? Go ahead.
It says, whose feet they hurt with fetters.
Yep, read this again.
It says, he sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters.
Whose feet they hurt with fetters, meaning he went into physical captivity, man. Just like we did. Go ahead.
He was laid in iron.
He was laid in iron. See? Go ahead.
Until the time that his word came.
Until when?
The time that his word came.
Yeah, until the time where his word came. And that's the same with us. We was, matter of fact, give me St. John 8. Is that St. John 8? Give me St. John 8 real quick. Is that 8 and 4? You should know the truth. Is that 32?
Is it?
Yep, go ahead.
St. John 8 and verse 32. It says, and ye shall know the truth.
And ye shall know the truth, meaning his word gonna come, and what's gonna happen?
And the truth shall make you free.
And the truth shall make you free. Let's read this again with Joseph.
It said, and whose feet they hurt with fetters, he was laid in iron until
what?
The time that his word came.
Until the time where his word came. And that can apply to us as well. Okay? We was locked, we was chained mentally until the time his word came. And then we was free. Go ahead.
The word of the Lord tried him.
See, the word of the Lord tried him. And it tells you that happens to all of us. And that's outlined in Sirach, the 2nd chapter. If you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. And pretty much you're going to be tried. See, go ahead.
It said the king sent and loosed
him. Read that part again.
It said until the time that his word came, the word of the Lord tried him.
Yep, see, go ahead.
The king sent and loosed him.
The king sent and loosed him. All right? It's not that going to happen to us, man. It's not Yahushua, who is the king of kings, is going to come and loose us. Of course. See, go ahead.
Even the ruler of the people.
Even the ruler of the people, go ahead.
And let him go free.
And let him go free, go ahead.
He made him Lord of his house.
Oh, he what?
Made him Lord of his house.
That's going to happen to the elect, man. Matter of fact, give me that in Matthew 24, I think. I think it's Matthew 24 and 46. You got some up?
Just going back on us getting delivered. Just going back on us being delivered from these devils. Psalms 140 and 1, it says, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man.
Yeah, preserve me from the violent man. All right? Meaning the Lord is going to take us from the clutches of this devil. And in that event, he's going to preserve us. Right? And how's the Lord accomplishing that feat? By way of his knowledge. It tells you that in is that Proverbs 2, where it says, she shall keep thee and she shall preserve thee. All right, go ahead up.
Yeah, this is St. Matthew 24 and 45. It says, who then is a faithful and wise servant?
Who then is a faithful and wise servant? Go ahead.
Whom his Lord have made ruler over his household.
See, now read this back in Psalms.
Psalm 105 and So like Psalm 105 and 20, it said the king sent and loosed him.
Yeah, sent and loosed Joseph. Go ahead.
Even the ruler of the people let him go free.
Go ahead.
It said he made him lord of his house.
See, he made him lord of his house. See, go ahead.
And ruler of all his substance.
And ruler of all his substance. Now let's go back here again.
God, St. Matthew 24 and 45. Who then is a faithful and wise servant?
And that's a question from the Lord. Who is a faithful and wise servant? Go ahead.
Whom his Lord have made ruler over all his household.
See that? So you see that the same thing concerning Joseph, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we know he physically went into captivity, he was ultimately freed from that cell, and he was made a ruler. He was made an overseer. Mm-hmm. The king himself made Joseph a ruler. So that's the same we're going to have with us, man. All right? We're going to be raised up, and the king himself is going to crown us. Go ahead.
It says to give him meat in due season.
And to give him meat in due season. Now, go back here.
God, verse 21, Psalm 105, 21. He made him lord of his house and ruler of all his substance. To bind his princes at his pleasure and to teach his senators wisdom.
See? So that he said to bind what?
To bind his princes at his pleasure.
See that? So it's not we're gonna have that luxury. So when you read this story right here with Joseph, he went into captivity until he was freed by the king himself, and he was given jurisdiction over the household, and he had the jurisdiction to bind the princes at his leisure, man. Guess what? That's going to happen with the elect, man. Here it is. We've been brought over here. We've been down, trodden, beat down, but it's all a part of the story, man. This is a method. It's a method to this madness, if you will. We had to be brought down. We had to suffer this tragedy only so we could triumph. Give me that in 1 Peter. You got something?
Quick precept. This is the book of 1 Samuel 2 and verse 7. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich.
Yep.
He bringeth low and lifteth up.
Yep. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. So Yahweh Shema Shai is behind both sides of the spectrum, if you will. He's controlling both extremes. But on the one hand, he have made rich. He made Esau. He raised this devil up, man. That's why when you read Isaiah 10th chapter, the scriptures tell you how can the axe boast himself against he that lifted them up, man. So it's the Lord who lifted you devils up, and it was the Lord who brought us low. See, read that again.
It says the Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up.
Now, when the scripture said make a poor and make a rich, poor represents not having strength in your hand, and rich represent having strength. Because it tells you how money is a defense. See that? Yeah, go ahead.
It says he raises up the poor out of the dust.
Yeah, he raises up the poor out of the dust, man. Meaning we're going to be exalted, man. Yep, Lazarus and the rich man, like the elder said, man. That's the story right there. Hey, it show you how bad Yahweh Shai is. Yahweh Shai framed everything in one story. He broke it all down in one story, man. Us going into captivity under them devils, being downtrodden in America, and utterly going into the kingdom and taking them down and beating their ass. He did all that in one story. Yep, go ahead.
It says he raised up the poor out of the dust.
Right, so the Lord raised us up from this confused state, man. Those amongst you out there that's able to digest this word, that's a form of the Lord raising you up. See? Go ahead.
It says, and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill.
And lifted up the beggar, that's Lazarus and the rich man. And lifted up the beggar from the dunghill. See, go ahead.
To set them among princes.
See, to set them among princes. That's the story, man. That's the Cinderella story that you're witnessing. You know, this people, man, robbed and spoiled. All right? Tragedy. Right? Turning to triumph. See, go ahead.
It says, and to make them inherit the throne of glory.
And make them inherit the throne of glory, man. Meaning we're going to be set up as rulers, man. And that right there is hard to digest. You know, that's hard for, that have proven to be a challenge for people to, and you get it. I get it. I understand. We tell you that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be the next rulers. I can see what one might stumble at that. See? Go ahead. Oh, it's like, go ahead.
Just backing up what you said. This is Sirach 11:5.
Yep.
Many kings have sat down upon the ground.
Right. When you go into the history, you have many rulers, many regimes that rise to power, then they ultimately fell out of power. It went right back to that abased state. See, go ahead.
And one that was never thought of.
The one that was never thought of, go ahead.
Have won a crown.
Have won the crown. That's what we come in at, man. Nobody saw us on the radar, man. But guess what? Pursuing the biblical prophecy, man. Not of ourselves, because of the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shah, we're going to be exalted. We're going to be the next rulers, man. See? So you can go back here.
God, it says, and to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory, for the pillars of the earth are the Lord.
Right, the pillars of the earth are the Lord's. What do it mean when they say the pillars of? Because you have a simple nigga. That's for the flat earth. They pull that precept out on you. The earth is flat and it's sitting on pillars. All right, but what's that sitting on? And what's that sitting on? Look, man, when the scriptures say the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, that's talking about those who are going to uphold the world, man. The elect. All right, with our Lord Yahweh Shah lead the charge, man. Okay, that's the pillars of the world. We're going to be the welfare of the world. Matter of fact, yep. Right,
this is what Solomon says in 24. But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world.
The multitude of the wise, right, which is dealing with the kingdom of heaven, man. The 144,000, that would be the multitude of the wise. Read that again.
It says, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world.
Is the welfare of the world. Meaning the world is going to benefit from the exalting of the multitude of the wise. Go ahead.
And a wise king is the upholding of the people.
And a wise king is the upholding of the people. That's that pillars, man. All right. And it goes into that as well. And matter of fact, give me that real quick. It's Sirach 10.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
It's Romans 8 in verse 19.
Beautiful.
It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature.
Yeah, the earnest expectation of the creature, right? Go ahead.
Waiting for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High.
Right. And the creature, that word creature, it simply translates to creation. Right. So all the individuals on the planet Earth, they earnestly waiting on the manifestation of the righteous. Why? Because that's going to be in their benefit. When we rule, the other nations going to be in a far better case, man. They ain't worried about drinking a damn Pepsi, man. You know, and the king ain't worried about no shit like that, man. Right. So us being in power is going to mark your welfare. All right. Yes. Go ahead.
This is Rock 10 and 3. And that wise king.
Matter of fact, now I want you to jump down to like the 8th verse, if I'm not mistaken. Was it unrighteous dealings?
Oh, okay.
Read down.
Okay, all right. Yeah, this is Sirach 10 and 8. It said, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit.
Which all that fault, those are charges that's committed by the so-called white man. Read that again.
It said, because of unrighteous dealings.
Because of unrighteous dealings, all you got to do is just go into when this nigga, Christopher Columbus, his band of goons came over to the Americas. That was unrighteous dealings. See? Go ahead.
Injuries.
You can also throw that in there too, as well as what happened with the so-called Negroes, the Southern tribe, all right, Southern Kingdom, should I say? Hey, and even the animals. That's injuries, man. Destroying the animals, the trees, those are injuries. See, go ahead.
It said, and riches got by deceit.
And riches got by deceit. This man seized control of all the gold of the planet Earth. You know, you're going to Jekyll Island, where them devils got together and they pretty much hijacked really all the resources of the planet Earth. But they did it by deceit, see? And what's a part of the deceit? They gave you an FRN. They gave you a piece of paper, and they got the gold. All right, go ahead.
It said the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, that's what you're witnessing right now, a transition of power. The kingdom is being translated from one people to another. The one people being the so-called white man and transferred over to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And who have heard of such a thing, that we are now beginning to come into power, man? Well, whether you believe it or not, that's what's happening. See, go ahead.
Quick precept. It's the book of Psalms 75 in verse This is the book of Psalms 75 and verse 7. It says, but the Most High is the judge. He pulleth down one.
Right. The Most High is in control. He put it down one. Go ahead.
And set it up another.
And set up another. That happened with us. Did not the Lord bring us low and exalted the so-called white man from his abased state Which when you read Job the 30th chapter, tell you how this nigga was up in the caves, man. All right, under the nettles, man, the nettles, right? But he was grunting on all fours, like Qunas said, man. He was grunting on all fours, right? But then what happened? The Lord worked a miracle. The Lord raised this nigga up. Now you got him wearing a damn Italian suit, all right, with a suitcase and calling the shots, man, setting the trends. You know, he has the power to manipulate policies. So that was a form of the Lord sitting down one and raising up another. Well, guess what? That policy is still in effect. Yahweh Shemal Shah, that's the way he go about his business. Wintertime when he's about to abase this devil and bring us up. Matter of fact, give me that, and is that Ezekiel 10? I mean, 16?
I got some real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Job 22 and 29. It said, when men are cast down.
Yep, when men are what?
Cast down.
Go ahead.
Then thou shalt say, there is a lifting up.
Woo.
And he shall save the humble person.
It's like a seesaw. Read that again.
It said, it's Job 22 and 29. When men are cast down.
Yeah, when men are cast down, go ahead.
Then thou shalt say, there is a lifting up.
So simultaneously, when men are cast down, somebody else is being lifted up to occupy that lot that's vacant. See, go ahead.
And he shall save the humble person.
And the Lord is going to save the humble person, man. So we're going to have subjects. The house of bondage will always be there. The tenants change. Slavery is an entity that belongs in existence, man. So slavery not going to go away. Again, the house of bondage is going to be here. The tenants going to change. You're going to have Esau occupying the house of bondage, man. And we're going to be the landlord. All right? So is it on that? What you got?
Ezekiel.
Okay, they give it to you.
This the book of Ezekiel 17 and verse 24. It says, and all the trees of the field shall know that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree, have exalted the low tree, have dried up the green tree.
Yep, so I can read that again.
Ezekiel 17 and 24. It says, and all the trees of the field shall know that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree.
Right, and what's the high tree? The so-called white man. And his rulership, the Lord is bringing that down. See, go ahead.
Have exalted the low tree.
And the Lord simultaneously is exalting the low tree, man. See, go ahead.
Have dried up the green.
And again, that's like a seesaw.
Is it?
Somebody go down, by default, the other person go up. Go ahead.
It says, have dried up the green tree.
Yeah, the Lord is drying up the green tree. And when something dries out, there's a process, man. The Lord is taking that luster and that shine away from America. See, go ahead.
And have made the dry tree to flourish.
So now the dry tree is flourishing, man, by way of this word. You know?
That's right.
That was it, right?
A little bit more. It says, I, the Lord, have spoken and have done it.
Oh, that's that. I, the Lord, have spoken, meaning what? Pursuing the biblical prophecy. These things is going to happen. All right, go ahead.
Continue on. So, Rock 10 and 9, it says, why is earth and ashes proud?
Right. Yep. Why is the basis of men proud? Go ahead.
There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Right. Who is that talking about? The so-called white man. And he is covetous, man. All right. This man was not his. You know? Go ahead.
For such a one set of his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die.
Right. So the Lord is going to cut off this long reign of terror, the duration of rulership of the so-called white man, which stems all the way back to the ancient Greeks, the Romans, and even this current system that's in play now, the beast system. Go ahead.
It says, for when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts and worms. The beginning of pride is one departed from the Most High.
Yeah, the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High. Right, go ahead.
And his heart is turned away from his maker.
Yep, and his heart is turned away from his maker. And Esau, the so-called white man, you fall under that category, man. Because you fervently push out the idea of that not being a power. You the ones who got that question. You know, where it's a debate whether is there a God or not. When just seeing the works of the Lord should prove that, man. This devil, the one that came in the picture and made it a question. Is there power in that? See, go ahead.
It says, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination.
Yeah, and that's the so-called white man. Do not he pour out abominations, man? You know, in the form of, for an example, the LGBTQXYZ, 1, 2, 3, man. That's a form of this man pouring out abominations, man. Just overwhelming abominations. See, go ahead.
And therefore, the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. The Lord, Yahweh Shai, have cast down the thrones.
See, the Lord have cast down the thrones. Go ahead.
Of proud princes.
Go ahead.
And set up.
Go ahead.
The meek in their stead.
And set up the meek in their stead. So that means somebody got to control that lot. See, when you devils go out of power, that ain't it. We're going to sit on that throne, man. See that? And the so-called white man here in that misery, love, company spirit. We can't rule, nobody else going to rule. So they like to frame it as the end of the world. A coming is going to take this motherfucker. But we going to be the last rulers. No. Scriptures say that we're going to sit in your damn stead, man. See? Go ahead.
The Lord have plucked up the roots of the proud nations.
Yes, the Lord is plucking up the proud nations by their roots. Go ahead.
And planted the lowly in their place.
And the Lord is going to plant the lowly in their place, man. Meaning what? We're going to go from tragedy to triumph, man. All right? Why? Because the Lord, that's the story. The Lord wants that story. It's necessary for that story to be written like that, man. I mean, who want to see somebody just win? You know, you on top and you win. No, man, the story is when the underdog win. All right, matter of fact, you got a piece up?
Yeah, real quick.
Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 60 and 15. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated.
Right, we was forsaken and hated. Go ahead.
So that no man went through thee.
Yeah, that no man went through these. When you consider these different neighborhoods, these cities, nobody want to go and set up. Nobody gonna go to the inner city of Chicago and like that's the ideal spot for them to go set up their spot, man. Their business. No, man. That's why the scripture said you was forsaken that no man went through thee. See, go ahead.
I will make thee an eternal excellency.
The Lord is going to make us an eternal excellency. Go ahead.
A joy of many generations.
A joy of many generations. That's the contract. That's going from shit to sugar. That's what's going to happen with the children of Israel, man. See, the Lord and his spin on this thing, man, the way the Lord wrote this thing out, the way it was scripted by Yahweh Shema Shah, is for us to be brought up. Matter of fact, give me that 1 Peter 5.
Okay. Yep. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time.
In due time, he's going to exalt you, man. That's the story of the Lord. That gives this story, you know, that oomph, man, that salt. You consider, we just read Joseph. Joseph, the Lord could have easily just made Joseph a ruler. No, but he took him down through there, man. He was sold into captivity by his brothers. He he was in jail and prison. Oh, Daniel. You know? David, King David. He went from a young lad tending to the sheep to the great King David, man. It was a process. Yahweh Shai. Matter of fact, give me Hebrews. Yahweh Shai, man. The story of Yahweh Shai. Did not it say he was made poor for our sakes? That's a part of the drama of the Lord, man. That's necessary. We have to be brought low so we can be exalted. See? Go ahead.
No, 12.
Hebrews 12 and 2.
Come on. This is the book of Hebrews 12 and verse 2. It says, look unto Yahweh Shai, the author and the finisher of our faith.
See, consider Yahweh Shai. He's the author and finisher of our faith. Go ahead.
It says, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross.
Endured the cross. See that? The joy was before him, but he had to endure the cross. See, go ahead.
Despising the shame.
He despised that shame. He was put to shame. Right? Go ahead.
And is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High.
And that's the results of it, man. See? So this is the way the Lord chose to bring us up, man. We had to go through what we had to go through, man. Right? But now we at the end of that prison sentence, if you will. See? You got something? Give me that Psalms 138. You got something?
I got 2 on.
All right, go ahead. Psalm 138.
It's the book of Daniel 4 verse 17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones.
Yep, go ahead.
To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Yeah, the Most High is the one that manipulates the things that go on here on the planet Earth. Right? Go ahead.
And giveth it.
And what?
And giveth it.
Giveth what? Rulership. Matter of fact, give me Sirach 10 and 4. He giveth rulership. The Lord is the one who have the power over who's in power. Hold that and give me that.
Sirach 10 and 4. The power of the earth.
See, the power of the earth, meaning the rulership, go ahead.
Is in the hand of the Lord.
Is in the hand of the Lord. See? Go ahead.
And in due time.
And in due time.
He will set over it one that is profitable.
See that? So the Lord is the one who has power. And he gives it to whom he please. See, go ahead.
It says, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men.
See that? All right, so you got another one?
I got another one. This is the book of Psalms 107 verse 41. It says, he selleth the poor on high.
He what?
He selleth the poor on high.
Yeah, meaning he's going to exalt us. You're going to be in a ruler seat. That's a form of the Lord, setting the poor on high, man. And you know what? It's a beauty to that, man. It's a beauty when you take something low and you bring it up. It's a beauty when you refurbish something, you restore something, man. You know, you refine something. That's the process of the elect, man. The Lord is going to refine us. He's going to build us up, and he's going to set us on a mantle. That's how that's what the Lord is going to do. He's going to take you, build you up, and sit you on a mantle so that you can be on display, and the Lord can show you his work, man. He can show his work. See, go ahead.
It says, he selleth the poor on high from affliction and maketh him families like a flock.
See, from affliction, man. So this story, man, the story is going to end up, this is going to end up a beautiful story, man. All right? Go ahead.
Got something real quick. Psalm 37, the point in 34. I'm going to start at, I started 32. It said, the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him.
Right, and that's what the so-called white man is doing. They're watching us online. Right? They're watching you do these cameras. They got face recognition, man. These devils watching you. See, go ahead.
It said the Lord will not leave.
Which, by the way, that's a attribute of the eagle. His keen eyesight. See, go ahead.
It said the Lord will not leave him in his hand.
Yeah, the Lord's not going to leave us in your hand, and you do with us as you please, man. See, go ahead.
Nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land.
Ooh, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. Go ahead.
When the wicked are cut off.
When the wicked are cut off. See, when the so-called white man is cut off, that's not the be-all, end-all, man. Right? The Lord is going to set us up in his stead. See, go ahead.
It said when the wicked are cut off.
And you see where it's joined at the hip. Once the wicked go down, we go up. That's why we prayed. That we did the lesson on it last night. Was that last night? The desire. There's the night for that. The desire for destruction, because we understand in that event of him going down, we going up. See?
It said, when the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it.
Yep. Woo. When the wicked is cut off, we're going to see it. And we seeing it right now. All right. Yep. Go ahead.
It's on Psalm 69 verse 29. But I am poor and sorrowful. Let thy salvation, O power, set me up on high.
Yeah, see that? So we qualify to be set up. How you going to be set up if you ain't at the bottom? See, by being at the bottom, now you qualify to be raised up. That's why it's a beautiful thing to be, numbered amongst the poor, man. Because now you qualify to be raised up versus already being on top, man. The only way you can go is down now. See, go ahead. That was it. Give me that Psalm 138 and 6.
God, this Psalm 138 6. Though the Lord be high, yet he have respect unto the lowly.
See, yeah, he have respect unto the lowly, man. That's heaven, man. The Lord is on high, but he have respect unto the lowly. And who is the lowly be? The elect of the nation of Israel. All right, go ahead.
It says, but the proud he knoweth afar off.
See? The Lord know you, but he know you're afar off. All right, so now you got something else?
Nah,
Give me the story of Job. Go to the last verse of Job and give me Matthew the 19th chapter. All right, so what you're witnessing now is nothing more than a beautiful piece of work, man. Yahweh Shema Shai is fashioning the poor, all right, to be the next rulers on the planet Earth. And there's nothing like a story of triumph. Nothing like the walk on, on the football team. He didn't get no offers, no scholarships.
Yeah.
Rudy,
Yeah.
I was saying, you go down in lore, you go down in folk history as being a legend at Notre Dame. He was a walk-on, man. See that's the story that the Lord's creating here.
That's it.
All right, so now give me what you got real quick.
The captivity of Job.
Yep, all that.
Right.
Read all the way down to,
Okay, this Job 42 and 10, and the Lord turned the captivity of Job.
Right, now, when you read Romans the 15th chapter, I quoted it earlier, but it tells you how the things written aforetime was written for our learning. Now, we all know, those amongst you out there who have somewhat of a feel for the scriptures, you know that Job, when read through spiritual lenses, is actually it's a foreshadowing of the elect, man. Because the elect have to be tested. Although the elect got that protective hedge, and the elect is beloved of the Most High, just like Job. The Lord himself said, have you considered Job? He was a prized possession, if you will, of the Lord. Right? But what happened? Job had to be tried. He had to be tested, man. So that's the same with the elect. That gold has to be refined. So that's what we're about to read here. Read it again.
He said, and the Lord turned the captivity of Job.
See that? Why is that there? The Lord turned the captivity of Job, man. And that's the same we're going to have with us, right? Go ahead.
It said, when he prayed for his friends, also the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before.
Now, what we're reading is the end of the conclusion of the matter with Job. We all know the story. Job lost it all, man. Right? His children. Right? But the scriptures say, read that again.
It said, and the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before.
Right, so the Lord gave Job twice as much. Do that sound familiar? Give me Matthew 19 and 27.
This is the book of Matthew 19, verse 27. It says, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all.
See, we have forsaken all. We lost it all. Just like Job, right? Go ahead.
And followed thee.
And followed thee. Go ahead.
What we shall have therefore.
So what we going to have? Right? Go ahead.
It says, and Yahweh Shai said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which follow me in the regeneration.
Which that's reincarnation. Go ahead.
When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right? Now hold it right there and let's go back here.
God, it says, and the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before.
Yep, go ahead.
Then came there unto him all his brethren and all his sisters and all they that had been of his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in his house, and they bemoaned him and comforted him all over. It's like, and comforted him over all the evil that the Lord had brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money.
Whoa.
And every one an earring of gold.
Yep, go ahead.
So that the Lord blessed the latter end of Job.
The Lord what?
Blessed the latter end of Job.
The Lord blessed the latter end of Job. See those two words, latter end? That's going to happen with the elect, man. Here in this latter end, the Lord is going to bless us, man. Although we went through this tragedy, we went through, the stories, okay? You don't even know about your past life, man, and what you had to endure. And being in this lifetime as well. But the latter end of the elect is going to be one that's going to be of a blessed one. And that happened to Job. That's why these words said, these key two words. Read that again.
It says, so the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning.
More than his beginning. See, better is the end of a thing. Yep, go ahead.
For he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she-asses.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. And he called the name of the first Jemima, in the name of the second, Keziah, in the name of the third, Kerenapuk. And in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them an inheritance among their brethren. After this, Job lived 140 years and saw his sons and his sons' sons, even 4 generations.
Meaning he got the very sons that he lost, the very sons and daughters that he lost. That 4th generation, he got them back.
That's it.
Right. So now, with that said, go back to Matthew 19.
Because it's the book of Matthew 19 in verse
28.
27. Oh, it's like in verse 28. It says, "And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel."
Go ahead.
It says, "And everyone that have forsaken houses,
And everyone that have forsaken houses, go ahead.
or brethren,
Uh-huh.
or sisters,
Uh-huh.
or father,
Yep.
or mother, or wife, or children,
Or children, see? Did not Job lose his children too? Go ahead.
or lands,
Or lands, go ahead.
for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold,
Uh-huh.
and shall inherit everlasting life."
So you're gonna get everything back that you lost, man. That's the mercy. That's Yahweh Shemal Shah. That's the mercy of the Heavenly Father through His Son. See, so you see where these stories parallel. Where Job lost it all, even his children. But the scripture says he saw those same children back. Well, that's the same sentiment our Lord Yahweh Shah is echoing. If you lost family, lands, houses, even children, you're gonna get it back. All right. So what's that telling you, man? This story, this story of tragedy, that shrouds the children of Israel is ultimately going to be one of triumph. All right. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the brothers laboring in his work. And as always, you believers out there, the Akim and the Aqua, that subscribe to this truth as well. To the next time, Shalom.
Shalom. DTA, Abad Babal.